Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer, and this is my build stream where I work on model kits and Lego sets. Although we've been doing a lot of model kits lately, we haven't done a Lego set in a while, but we'll get to one pretty soon because it's been a bit. And I've got two kits waiting for me, so we'll get to that. Harold already in the chat, throwing out the Bear Cave emote along with his bomb. Isk says hello. Harold is hosting. Thank you, Harold, for that. Hello, Isk. And welcome. Yeah, if you're a subscriber and you're in the chat, throw a Bear Cave emote, throw the Lego emote if you're our tier 2, if you're one of them. Already, more people have chatted than most of Saturday's stream. If you didn't watch the archive of Saturday, you weren't there live. I would describe it as a very laid-back show, even for me. Even for this, it was lightly attended. And even though eventually we got a few more folks in there. Oh, hello and welcome. How's it going? We've got a few more people in the chat. No need to apologize. Saturday was just weird because there were a few of you and it was good, but nobody was eager to chat. Eventually we did get somebody in the end that wanted to have a conversation, so it was a bit unusual. Trying to get work done and failing. Yes. I also had that today. I had a bunch of things I needed to get done, and I got a couple things done that I really needed to do, and there was a bunch of stuff that I was like, well, it's going to be annoying to do this tomorrow, and guess what? It's going to be annoying tomorrow when I do it. Harold just subscribed for 5 months in a row. Thank you very much, Harold. You may notice lighting in here is kind of awkward. It's still bright outside, and I have a window over here. Because we haven't hit the point where it starts getting darker earlier. So it's still light out here in New York, which really affects my whole setup of the lighting in here. It's annoying. You don't need to worry about that. Anyway, so we got the Vidar, which is from Iron Blood Orphans. We're going to start that kit today. We can go to we'll go to the main feed here, the overhead feed. There we are. Yeah, so I apologize for the not greenness behind me. It should be gray, but it's not. If I go like that, maybe a little bit better. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just move my chair a little bit. That helps some. But yeah, so this is the Vidar. It looks cool. I love the coloring. I love that it doesn't look like your typical Gundam. The color choices I think are very fun, very dark, obviously, but good red accents. Some stickers. We got a sticker coming up on the body. We're gonna try to apply now. If you didn't watch my other build of an Iron Blood Orphans Full Mechanics, that's the full title of this. The Full Mechanics. How do I describe this right? It looks like a Samurai Gundam. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. It does have some ties, I think, to armor and not the European, British Middle Ages style armor that a lot of Gundams kind of harken to. So when we say full mechanics, what that means is the different styles of model kits that we have are high grade, which are very simple, easy to build. They're the 1/144 scale, tiny. Master grade, those are the 1/100 scale. Perfect grade, that's in the 1/66 scale. We've done one of those. Most of the time, we're in the master grade scale, right? We're doing the 1/100 scale. It's a good size robot. So this is 1/100 scale, but it's full mechanics, which is only in this line. Full mechanics are closer to high grade, but still have a couple cool things. Like, we're going to build the whole skeleton. As you can see, I've done a little building just to kind of warm my hands. We're going to do a full skeleton, top to bottom. You can see in the photo there in the center. And then we're going to put the armor around it. Instead of doing, like, the body and then put the plates on the front and the plates on the back and maybe the backpack. Hello, the hollow. So we're going to do the arms and the legs and everything in the head and all that. And then we'll put armor on top of it. That's the full mechanics style. It is similar. Oh, hello. Herb, hello. It is similar in a way to the model kit size real grade, which is kind of new. Real grade is the 1/44 scale, but has some of the tricks of the master grade. It's that weird extra thing. Will Smith is now auto-hosting. Thank you very much for that, Will. So anyway, yeah, so that's what we're working on right now. Sorry, I'm going to clean that up there. All right, so I got some pieces here ready to go. Did some clipping. Kind of got my hands moving. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to working on this kit. We've done one full grade, or it's not full grade, uh, one full mechanics before, and it was interesting. There were even a couple pieces that we put on the skeleton that we took off when we started putting the armor on, which was kind of cool that they had some parts that were just for that. I don't know, it seemed neat. So I'm excited to work on that. I think I did a good job there. Um, because it is June and it's my birthday month. In fact, my birthday's on Saturday. I am going to be going to 11 p.m. tonight to the 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. stream. Very happy you all are here with me for as long as you can, as much as you can. No pressure, none of that, But if you can hang out and do some building along, I mentioned this, just about every stream. If you're ever working on anything, you can always send me a tweet on Twitter. I will always retweet what people are working on. If you're painting or if you're building, doing any projects. There's also a section in my Discord, which I'll mention in the middle, and it will also be in the show description on my YouTube archive. But yeah, I put the on the Discord. I have a spot for people to post photos of things they're working on, and you can kind of see the in progress. The Vidar has been my kitchen Gundam for a few months. So, Mr. Bob, does that mean that's the Gundam that has been displayed in your kitchen? Or is that the Gundam that you have the kit in your kitchen because you work on your kitchen table? I don't know. Or is it the kit that you've been taking pieces off for other? Is it the what's going on? I gotta know. I gotta know what kitchen Gundam means. All right. So yeah, as I said, these pieces were all just snapped off originally. The nice thing about full mechanics is there's a lot of, because this is a pretty new kit, there's lots of English. The display in my kitchen because I ran out of shelf space. Got it. Thank you, Bob. Yeah, I didn't think it was a kitchen utensil. So yeah, so there's a bunch of English in the description of this, which is always helpful. A lot of times you're just going by feel, going by what you know, but if it can be like, hey, you do this, that could be very helpful. All right, and then we'll put this on here. This goes. So basically, we're putting together the body of our Gundam here, our Vidar. Oh yes, I am at doing PAX West. I will be there. I'm also been putting panels together. The goal, as I've mentioned kind of briefly here, is I have been thinking about trying to do a build panel, and I'm working on that. Yeah, send me a DM or an email, whichever is easier for you. I am right now, as of right now, I don't think that League of Heels is going to have a table space like we did at East. There are a lot more. There's less room at West for tables, so it looks like we won't have that, which is a shame. So I will have some more free time, because the goal is to do the League of Heels show and to do a build show, which I just dropped a piece, so I'm going to go and find that. To do this, and then not to do 4-4ing it, but to do my improvised postmortem show. Okay, so piece fell. I can't immediately see it. I'm going to do a quick look. It has been weeks. Oh, here it is. Got it. Hooray! It has been weeks since we dropped something. So I'm glad I found it right away. But yeah, my PAX West schedule should be good. I am going to take a break from 404ing it. I think it's totally worth watching. The last one I did at PAX East, but I was not prepared properly for it, so I'm going to take a break from that show. Love that show. It's what brought me to the dance, as they say. But it's time for a break from that. And also, I want to do. I want to try to do this build stream. I've been talking with a few folks, trying to get a good lineup together for that, so that it'll be worth people checking out. All right, so we need C, and then 7. Folks that are just joining me, we got quite a few folks watching tonight, which is awesome. Really appreciate it. I know that a good number of you are here because of had Will Smith's stream on, and so you popped in here. So I appreciate you checking it out. For those that don't know, this is a building stream, model kits primarily. We do some Lego sets now and again, and it's just a fun time of me building stuff, talking to the chat, seeing what's up. Low key, try to be casual about it. I hope people will enjoy themselves. And I did mention my birthday is on Saturday. This Saturday I'm doing a 4-hour stream. It'll be the longest I've ever streamed. Double the length of my normal. I'll be doing a 4-hour stream. The first 2 hours will be me playing games with the chat, which will be really fun. I've done that plenty of times before. We'll do some Jackbox Party Pack games. I will be playing and kind of giving my overall thoughts on House Flipper. I'm now at the point where I am buying properties in House Flipper and flipping them instead of just doing odd jobs in order to get experience. And I think it's a good time to check in with that game, talk a bit about it. I know that a few folks are real into that game, and there's some people that maybe haven't seen it. So I'm going to be playing that. The Hollow makes a good point. This is for folks that came here because they are watching or like watching technology Will Smith, not actor, rapper, Scientologist Will Smith. Now we're talking the tech guy Will Smith. All right, so let's build one of these here. As always, when I'm doing something that's mirrored, the first time always takes a little while longer than the second because it's figuring things out. We can get into some anime talk. Jackbox showed up the stream. Yeah, I'm excited for more You Don't Know Jack. Always looking for. I enjoy the party packs, so it's fun to see what they're working on. Okay, so let's get into it already. I don't know if you're here tonight. I don't know if you even want to step forward. But some of y'all were telling me to watch the Sword Art Online, the new season, the side story season, because it was fun and cute and the main character is interesting. And so I started watching it. And I have to assume that everyone that recommended me the show hadn't watched episode 5 when they were telling me to watch it, because I'm done. I watched 5 episodes of that show, and I'm done. No thanks. Not into it. Not interested. So Sword Art Online ran for a couple seasons, several seasons. It is the people are in a VR MMO, realize they can't escape it. Death is real in the game and it stakes. Figure things out. Eventually, the show evolves and everything's okay, and then they end up in a shooter virtual reality game where the stakes aren't the same, but maybe they are. Anyway, this is a side story. It's like a couple characters have been in both, but it's focusing on other characters in a different story, and it got weird in a way that I didn't enjoy, and I think I'm done. Hey, board, I do like that. There is the creepy dude from the first time they were in the show that wants to buy cute avatars off people. I'm very happy that weirdo showed up again. I think that was a very fun nod to people that pay attention, like me, to shows like that. I thought that was cool. That was my favorite part of the show. So of that was that weird character showing up again. I thought that was kind of fun. But one of the characters you meet, you find out why she's playing the game, and I just don't want to. I'm just like, no, no, nope, not interested, not there for this. No thanks. Maybe it gets better, maybe it gets cooler, but yeah, episode 5, and then I guess probably episode 6. I think we're probably on. I was like, no thanks, not interested in this part of the story. Not gonna go to spoilers or anything, but there's a character motivation that is so like opposite anything I'm interested in that I'm just like, nope, not gonna do it. I will say this. Let's see. The Hollow. I did watch ReZero. I liked ReZero. I didn't love it, but I liked it. There's a lot. There's a lot to like about that show. That was interesting. Uh, uh, yes, I was just about to talk about that. So today I watched the 11th episode of Love Is Hard for Otaku, which is on Amazon Prime. And I watched the 12th and final episode of Comic Girls, which is on Crunchyroll. Comic Girls got me. That show, as I said, I think I said a lot. Um, that show was a tough watch sometimes because I do struggle occasionally with the main character who is so down on themselves that they're like that they just have such low self-esteem that occasionally that can kind of be a drag for the main character in the show, but the minor characters were all really strong, so that was enough for me, and I think that carries through in the 12th episode. I I will say this: Chaos Chan, who was annoying because she's so self-deprecating, won me over by the end. And yes, the horror girl is a fun thing. She even got a little bit of joke in there. My favorite dumb thing is halfway through, uh, about halfway through the series, 12 episodes, they introduce another girl. This house, this dormitory for high school girls that also do manga. They introduce another girl who does horror manga, and she's really creepy and weird. And then in the next episode, she's in the opening song, like the video, like creeping behind a tree, like real quick, because she's part of the cast now. And I think it's just like a very good dumb touch. Okay, so we put a sticker on there because it was big. It didn't come out great, but you all know me. I'm not good at that. Just not good at sticker work. But it was big, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Decals/stickers, not my strong suit. Uh, yeah, I think the horror girl is like a fun extra thing, uh, for the show, which I appreciate. Um, but yeah, she's just like too much. GGO needs to have a good payoff, or those would be a subpar series. Yeah, yeah, I'm just kind of not thrilled with it. Now, Love is tough for otaku. Or Love is hard for otaku. I forget the exact translation. If you go to Amazon Prime Video and look at otaku, it shows up. It's the first thing. That's the romantic comedy about childhood friends who now find themselves working in the same company, who are still both otaku, and they start dating. And then the senior at the company, like one of their mid-level bosses, is dating a coworker. They're both otaku as well. But everybody kind of likes different things. Like there's the game guy, there's the comics guy, girl. But it's a sweet romantic comedy that I really like. And this episode 11 really, like, I don't know, kind of pulled at my heartstrings. I really liked it. It's a very cute show. I'm gonna be bummed the next episode is the last one because I've just enjoyed it so much. I wish it was 13 episodes, not 12, or 24. But it was really cute and I really enjoy it. It's very funny and fun. So highly recommend Love is Hard for Otaku. It's on Amazon Prime because it was originally part of Anime Strike deal, but of course they got rid of Anime Strike. So if you have Prime, you can just watch it. But yeah, that show's my favorite of this season. certainly. Uh, well, we've got new anime coming up. I figured I would talk about that while I built. I could talk a bit about. Let me just this. See if that. Nope, that's not gonna happen. All right. There's some anime coming out, and there's more anime. July. We got a bunch of shows debuting in July. Crunchyroll has put out a couple things that they wanted that out. Um, I thought it was very funny because two are, by the look of it, are exactly the same, which I think is just very funny. That they're like, here's two anime. They're both guy in a gets transported to a magical fairy tale world. Um, like literally two of them. So the first one I'm excited about is season 3 of Overlord. Season 2 was started kind of weird, and I didn't necessarily love it, but then it got great. I think the second half of season 2 is awesome. Uh, so I a bit predisposed to be interested in this next season and what might happen in it. Um, so excited about that, and then so new Overlord. Excited for that. Let's see what else has Crunchyroll put out today. Uh, they announced, like I said, two shows that are basically a dude ends up in a mystical reality. Oh, and also they're harem anime, of course. So one is How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, and I believe that the idea of that is a guy who's like who's nuts about online games, gets transported to a magical world uh, because people think he's a real demon lord, not a guy who was good at RPGs. Uh, and then, so I don't know if he is a demon lord or not. And the other one is called, I'm gonna butcher this, The Master of Ragnarok and Blesser of Einherjar. Einherjar is the one that I can't really pick up right. So that is some dude touches a thing and gets transported to a mystical land where he has to become the savior, but the mystical land takes a lot of apparently Norse mythology. It's heavily Norse mythology based, and that sounds pretty cool. Uh, so I think that's going to be interesting. That of the two, and of course they both have a bunch of ladies on standing there because it's anime. Uh, all right, so that's the head frame. That's all we're doing for the head because got to build the armor around it. So that's it for the head, and that's it for the body. Now we're going to start working on our arms. We're already on the arms. The J is pronounced like U in Nordic languages. So maybe it's called you are Einarjar? Einarjar? I don't know. We'll find out. But that's the hollow. That's a good thing. Yes, Crunchyroll announced Attack on Titan 3. That's the big, and still My Hero is continuing and Clover is continuing. So those are some action shows that I'm like, okay. Then there's two more that I'm interested in. Uh, Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs is a ghost who worked at a hot spring, and now the hot spring is now either it's a dorm or it's a hotel. I think it's a dormitory, but it's a ghost who runs like a seemingly normal like dorm, and that sounds pretty fun. Like definitely a romantic comedy kind of show. Uh, so I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued by that. That sounds like it could be cool. Oh, do this. Yeah, new JoJo in October. I think it'll probably be on Crunchyroll. Maybe Netflix or anime or Amazon scooped it up. But because I know that, I mean, I don't know numbers, but I know that Crunchyroll put a lot of money behind getting the first, getting all the other JoJos. So I could see them going for it, but I don't know. Now the one that is a question mark that I don't know if I'm going to stick with, but I'm going to try out is called Cells at Work. The art style looks really interesting. It looks different in a way that it's very cell shaded, cell shaded. Uh, but I guess it's basically like I forget the name of that movie, but it's yes, that it's a David production. So that show is like the city of your body, like people working hard in your body. It's like the white blood cells defending your body from illness. Uh, Anime, and that seems like it might be pretty cool. So I'm gonna check that out. That that intrigued me. So yeah, I'm excited. But I just really like that of all the shows to announce, they announced two that are basically like a guy goes to a parallel world that's full of girls in action adventure. I am excited for more JoJo. Uh, I think one of the funny things is because it's I had a friend go, did they just not talked about the time travel thing and how JoJo, how the Josuke saved his own life? But they must have talked about it in the manga, right? It's like, no, not at all. It's not. I mean, we all know, right? We all know that's what happened. The cool guy that he based his whole personality and style after, that saved him when he was sick as a kid, is him. Uh, that's hilarious to me. But like that was also not explored in Diamonds Are Unbreakable, really. And it's just a strange, weird thing. Really like that about the show. It's just like a fun, weird touch that yeah, that's like I modeled my weird, dumb look after a guy that I thought was really cool that saved me. And it's like, oh yeah, that was you. You're modeling yourself after you in the future. Recursive. I think that's the right word for that. It's just a good dumb detail in a sea of dumb details that is that show. Uh, man, I might be due. I might be due for a JoJo rewatch. I don't know. Interviews with Monster Girls is nice. I watched that again, a bunch of that again, uh, and I realized I'd forgotten how horny that show is. That show is very horny. It's fine. I'm not no problem with it. It just really is. And then I do think that episode 13, which is the OVA, but the Crunchyroll says it's episode 13, which is like I said, it's the OVA. I do think that the closing credits on that like extra scene is shitty. And I don't think that's cool. I don't like that. I don't like that scene. I think it's weird. All right. So I just think it's even for yeah. But my interview with Monster Girls is a very good show. I watched the first and couple episodes again of um, my favorite show of the year, Laid Back Camp, because Laid Back Camp, the first episode, does reference like it basically starts in towards the like the last episode or last two episodes, so it's kind of fun to go back to that because I hadn't really watched the first episode in a while. Um, and oh, I love that show so much. It's just so positive and nice. So it's just a nice, good show. It's just little conflict. It's just good character work. Fun stories. Yeah, just totally love that show so much. Y'all know. Cool Grandpa. Cool Grandpa is the best. When he first shows up, I was like, they just put a lot of effort into this one character. This one male character that's we're never going to see again. And then you see him again. It's like, oh, okay. That's why they put so much effort into Very Cool Grandpa. Because they were like, no. There's more to this character. The Yamato reboot and Silver Spoon. Silver Spoon I liked. I have not seen Yamato, but I did like Silver Spoon. But yeah, for me, without a doubt, my favorite show of this season or this year has been uh, Laid Back Camp. It's just so good. Uh, Pet Girl is a really bad name for a really good series. Yeah. Um, I haven't seen it. Um, that does sound like a very bad name. I'll say that. You're not wrong in having me think that's a bad name. I would definitely not probably try that on my own. Uh, but as I said, I'm a little annoyed with you, chat, for recommending uh, the sword art because I really did not. I was like, oh, this is cute. I like the gymnastics, the rhythm or the gymnastics squad. I think that's really funny. I think that's cool that they're like really into her. I was like, okay, there's stuff to like about what's happening here, and then it just like it just took a very distasteful turn. Was not into it. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think I'm done with that show. Oops. I think I did this wrong. So we're working on our arms here. We're doing the frames of our arms. I did a piece wrong, so I'm going to try to redo it. Just good. Too hard. Yeah, Pet Girl sounds... Oh, you know what? I have seen that show. I just forgot the name of it. Uh, Harold, that's not helpful. It's cute, but it's not helpful, Harold. You gotta broaden your scopes. You gotta try other things. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you win. Pet Girl, I now remember watching and I did enjoy. That does fall into the category of like useless main character where you're like, oh, but there plenty of stuff happens and things are good. Yes, I do remember that show now. I think I blocked out the name of it because I was just like, meh, because it is a bad name. Uh, Plan C, for those of you that watch the show. Harold is certainly joking, but Harold might not be wrong. It is anime after all. So sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's very much not great. Uh, Yeah, I'm like I said, I got one more of next weekend. I'll be very busy, so I won't have much anime watching time anyway. But yeah, next Thursday, one of my shows ends. One of my shows ended today. I'll be ready for July. I believe that July 1st, if not the first, July 8th, it will be the first episode of. Oops, I did miss a step in here. I didn't realize that. Yeah, of um, the first episode of Overlord season 3 will be, I believe, like July 1st. So that's coming up. Yeah, I mean, I had a period where I wasn't watching anime much at all. Um, I would like tune into a few things here and there. I had like the free account on Crunchyroll. I would pop into something. I came back in 2011 to like I'd been for a few years since I watched. Um, but I came back in 2011 because the relaunch, the re-release, remastering, new version, whatever you want to call it, of Hunter x Hunter had come out, and I love Hunter x Hunter. So I watched that again, and that kind of rekindled, and I watched a few other things. But when I made the decision, I think like last year, about 2016, towards the end, that I was going to cut back on the hours and hours I was watching of wrestling, and that got replaced with anime. And I still think it was a good decision because I was watching too many hours of wrestling and not enjoying myself. and so I replaced that with that. In the great subs versus dubs conversation, I fell squarely on the line of watch what you can, watch what you want to, watch the way you want to. There are some dubs that I think are not great. There are some dubs that I think are very well cast and well done. Um, but I prefer subs because it does force me to engage, and I think that uh, if I'm not reading the subtitles along, I'm zoning out, or I'm opening another tab, or looking at my phone. And it is nice to have some entertainment in my life that I um, have to engage with, that I am telling myself I want to engage with. So it is nice for that. Oh, Shine is great. Yeah, I mean, independent wrestling is still awesome. And I do try to see it. I don't see Evolve as much as I should because they are pretty local. There's also, I think Capital City is the new name of the new one. There's Capital something is a new one. Uh, that I know that James Ellsworth is a is their champion right now. Um, for better or worse. But yeah, I have to check out some local wrestling stuff. I don't get down to Philly enough um, to see Chikara. I need to see a little more. I need to make more time for independent wrestling in my life. I do see a monthly show here in New York that is a comedy wrestling show at a comedy theater. So I do get out to see extremely serious wrestling, uh, which is very funny, well put together wrestling show, comedic wrestling show. So I do get to see that. So I do get some comedic wrestling at least in my life. All right, we replaced the piece that we didn't put in there, or we put in the piece we didn't put in. Now we can put a little bit more here. We're getting our arms together, and we can put a little bit more here. Yeah, like I said, normally we'd be building some stuff on top of this, more armor. We're not doing that. Chick, you're not wrong. Comedy wrestling is a fantastic wrestling. Yeah, reading anime is for me keeps me engaged, keeps me focused, keeps me attentive on what's going on because I have to do more than just listen, and I don't zone out that way. Uh, you know, that's nice for me anyway to have oh, this is not a thing that I can just have on in the background while I do other things. And that's important to me because I have too many things in my life that are like that. Like everything from like podcasts I listen to that I'm like, wait, what happened to that podcast? And I got to go back to all kinds of things where I'm just not engaged as much as I should be. Uh, Especially like talked about House Flipper or House Flipper uh, is a really fun game to play while you're listening to podcasts. And so, but I wouldn't try to do that and play and like watch an anime. I think that would be counterproductive. All right, and C232. But yeah, Chica, you're totally right. Counter wrestling is such a good thing. Um, Everything from Kaiju Big Battle to um, to Chikara. Uh, there are plenty of comedic stuff to comedy matches within things. If you go see Colt Cabana live, Colt Cabana is going to throw some comedy in there for you because while he has been leaning more towards the serious wrestling uh, recently, at his heart he's still a comedy wrestling guy. Um, he knows what to do. Or you see someone like Dalton Castle is going to have some comedy in his wrestling because his gimmick is is so larger than life that it does tend to dip into the fantastical. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you think of watching it anime at 1 times 2 speed? I don't even like doing that with podcasts. I know some people like have trained themselves to do that. I don't. I don't enjoy that. Uh, I know you're pulling my leg, but yeah, even for podcast stuff, I don't look. I tried it because I was like, oh, I get through stuff faster that way if I did that, and I was like, oh no, I don't really want to. All right, our arms are basically done. We're gonna put our hands on here. Yeah, I'm sure that there are people that can watch YouTube videos faster, that watch anime faster, that are just like, let me get through this. But I like to enjoy my media, uh, just savor it. Sometimes I'll put on a Giant Bomb podcast or something and just like relax, take my time with it, and do some other stuff. Like like play a quiet game or a puzzle game or something, and have a podcast on. Working on a farm thing, some kind of farming game, just like relax, like totally into that. That's my jam. So, all right, we're putting our arms on, and then we're gonna put our head and our shoulder pieces on here. Let's see, yep, 30, 31. Okay, sure I'm doing this here so you can see. I have really bad hearing, so I have to watch most shows with Japanese audio with subtitles. English track will not follow the sub track. Yeah. Um, Board says that since coming back to anime, there's so much available. Yes. Uh, there's a lot. And that's why I'm fine with bouncing off series that don't appeal to me. Like, I can always go back, because there's some people like, oh, you're not watching this? Yeah, I didn't love the second episode, but and I'm like, no, 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 no. There are too many great shows on to waste my time with something that I'm just like watching for the sake of watching, you know? Like, you make those concessions all the time, but I'm not super here for all that because there's so much to watch. Um, and I really enjoy it. So I'm like, I'm gonna watch what I can watch when I can watch it. Uh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, because you just catch up. There's always something coming on. Back in the day, back in my day, when I was young. Here we go. All right, there's our frame. Um, Now we're gonna work on the waist. Um, but I was coming up. Yeah, I was in the days of you watched whatever was on TV, and then if it was anime, because you were like, oh, I have to support this, it's on TV. And then a few people had like cable packages that had like other anime that you couldn't get, which was annoying. And then fan subs, you could get tapes. You tape traded when you had to. Uh, when fan sub groups started doing online releases, I had a friend who had a T1 line, and so I would put torrents up at his place and torrent Naruto uh, to make sure I could get that stuff. Thank you for the follow, Mafik. I appreciate that. Yes, we are working on the Vidar. This is the, for those that are just joining or just popping in, checking a look. This is the 1/100 scale full mechanics. Full mechanics is a line right now just for Iron Blood Orphans, the series. It is the 1/100 scale, but closer to a high grade than a master grade. It's kind of like a real grade, only it's the 1/100 scale instead of the 144. Uh, it's a I appreciate doing the whole skeleton first. I think that's a cool, fun way to do it. Um, yeah, this was bought off my Amazon wish list, which I'll mention when we take our break. Um, I liked Iron Blood Orphans. I didn't love it. I know that there are people that liked it way more than me. Um, I think it's a fine show. Uh, it's very sad, and I don't mind sad, but it's very sad. I mean, when the name is Iron Blood Orphans, you should be expecting a sad show. Don't get me wrong. I don't expect it to be lighthearted, but yeah, I like a little bit of joy in my anime, uh, if only to make the sadness even more pronounced. 14. Um, oh, nice. Yeah, the first season. Yeah, I could see the anger in you for the second season. Um, like I said, I did like it. I just didn't love it. Love it. Um, all right, so working on our waist here. Well, this goes here. This. Um, and it goes there. Great, we did it. It's cool. But yeah, these are bought off my Amazon wish list, which I was very happy to have. This and the last kit we did, the Master Gundam from G Gundam, the high grade, so that we could build the horse as well. I'm not surprised the horse wasn't ever a Master Grade version because it's G Gundam, so I understand why you never got a master. We never got a Master Grade of the horse, the unicorn Gundam, but like we should have gotten that. Come on. All right, so that's all we're doing for the waist right now. So we're moving on to the legs. Uh, Usually we would be so far into building before we ever did anything to do with legs, but obviously since we're doing the skeletal structure first, we're actually getting a little color instead of just this, which is kind of cool. But yeah, we're gonna do the leg frames next. Uh, for me to watch and finish, Vodums, the game, Nadia, and the Secret of the Blue Water. Started all of them and never finished. There's uh Yeah, I think that's a trouble when you have a lot of something, anything, right? Any type of media, is that um, you just end up like watching a bunch of things and you don't necessarily ever finish them. Also, the one thing that happens is that like I get this with some series, especially a series I really like, where I'll stop before it's over because if I don't watch the last episode or the last two episodes, then the show's not done because I didn't finish it. You know? Uh, Not that it was a great show, but I remember doing that with Gungrave, which was based on uh, which was like I think it was an anime based on the video game. The video game came first, and then they made an anime, and now there's a VR game coming out that's based on the property. Um, but yeah, if I remember correctly, uh, that was a video game first. But I remember I'd never watched the last episode because it was getting sad, and I was like, oh, I don't want to see what happens, so I just never finished it. I'll have to one of these days. Oh, okay, so you have a graduation wish list for what you want. That's cool. That's smart. Last episode of Macross now. Third time watching. Push through. Yeah, you gotta. You know what? That's the real thing. You do have to push through. Um, uh, I remember I had taken a break because it there was some sadness towards the end of. It's not a great show, but Charlotte's an interesting show. Charlotte is an interesting anime. I don't think it's mind blowing. It's not genre defining or anything, but I think it's a pretty good show. And I remember I hadn't watched the later episodes because I was feeling weird about stuff that had been happening in it. And then a friend of mine was like, "Well, it basically becomes a different show that I think you'll like, so you should watch it." And he was right. It like the last couple episodes kind of are. Well, there's like at least one episode that's kind of a different thing. Uh, you wish you were watching your favorites is more of a thing now. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't want to speak about younger demographics of the Hollow. I don't want to speak for generations that I'm not a part of. Um, because I do think that there are people that I have a friend of mine. She and I watched a lot of Glow season one. I joined her for a good part of her rewatch um, because uh, season two's coming out. So she was like, "I want to rewatch the series," and I ended up catching a bunch of it with her. Um, which it's a really good show. So I was more than happy to do it. But it is the thing of like it does happen. It just doesn't happen as frequently, I think, because there's just more media. There's more content. You don't have to watch old shows if you don't want to. Uh, I think the last show that really bummed me out. I mean, Iron Blood Orphan certainly is a bummer. Um, I think it was Honey and Clover. Honey and Clover was basically just like there were a few fantastical elements to it, but mostly it was just like a drama about art kids like at school, and just the realization that like the relationship the main character wanted to have, either he was never going to be able to make it happen, or it was never going to be like reciprocated. And I remember that just really bumming me out. That show ended in like such a sad way. It was a real bummer of a show. I liked it, but it really did bum me out. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I liked it too. Don't get me wrong. Or I did really like Honey and Clover. It did have the ending kind of was a downer. Especially those shows aren't you're like this is all you're gonna get. There might be more to it that someone else gets to watch down the line or gets to read down the line, but you're never gonna see this show. I guess season two come out. It's always a bummer, especially shows they really connect with. It's like, oh well, maybe other people didn't. So, Holly, you're basing that on mainly on your nieces who are younger teens, and there's a huge amount of pressure to keep up with new hotness. Yes, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, like, there's just so much stuff. Like, I mean, I get that every now and again, with people that are like, hey, did you watch this? And it's just like, I didn't watch it because I didn't know it was a thing that, oh, okay. What is it? Oh, it's over and you don't care about it anymore? Okay. Like, yeah, I've definitely been there with shows where you're just like, oh, never mind. I don't have time to worry about that. But I also think that um, there can be benefits to having a broad like seeing a lot of things, consuming a lot of things, and like trying new things and constantly seeing what's out there can be better than just watching the same things over and over again because the comfort of that is can be great but can also be damaging. And then also hopefully you're less likely to develop an identity around one thing, like let's say Star Wars. Maybe if you're watching lots of different kinds of sci-fi and not just three movies over and over again, maybe your worldview could be a little different. That's just one hypothetical. But but I do understand that there's also like I said there is something to be said for having access to a thing, a bunch of different things, and or just one thing that you're really into. But I think my generation would have benefited from uh, diversifying our interests. I'm an old millennial. Um, I turned 38 on Saturday. I'm barely a millennial. I don't consider myself, you know, Gen X. I guess I'm Gen Y, but we just apparently we collectively decided that Gen Y isn't really a thing. So I am just an old millennial. Um, but yeah, uh, as far as I'm concerned, I wish, yeah, I wish that some of my compatriots had, more things to be interested in. Uh, yes, just like the three Indiana Jones movies, there's only three Star Wars movies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, Harold. Oh, but if there's only three Star Wars movies and you really love Star Wars, you care way too much about every little dumb accident and detail and minor thing about those three to the point where it is sometimes hard to talk to them, to people that are so into it that they have no context for the outside world anymore. Uh, I try to watch it broad, especially when it comes to anime. I do try genres that I'm not sure that I would like. Um, you know, I think Sanrio Boys was on this year, and it was a good chance for me to watch uh, not a super explicit boys love show, but a pretty straightforward. This is a show about a bunch of attractive gentlemen that are all friends. Uh, I think that that's like not necessarily a series that I would have watched a couple years ago, and it was really solid. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of drama, but it was a good show. But yeah, I think like trying genres that you is important. Trying movies that you've heard good things about, but you didn't think would be for you. Like there's if that's healthy, and then you can sometimes it's just confirmation bias. It's reaffirming. You're like, well, I tried it and I knew I wouldn't like it, but hopefully, sometimes it'll be like, oh, I like this. Here in Greenwood. I've heard the name. I've never seen it, but I have heard the name. Um, but yeah, I think there's something to be said for just giving a wide variety of things a try. Um, it was fun recommending Slice of Life to a friend of mine who has only watched action stuff, or has only watched like he likes the good fighting animes, but he's not really into other stuff. So it was interesting to like talk to him about what he liked about that. It's like, okay, well, maybe we can find some magical slice of life for you. And then now he's texting me every now and again. He's slowly making his way through Flying Witch, which is one of the most nothing happens slice of life shows I've ever seen. Like it's got Flying Witch. It's got magical elements to it. There's stuff. There's like lore and interesting things and like a ghosts and stuff like that. But it is like limited in what happens. Uh, it's a slow, very much about look around you style slice of life. So it's really fun to have a friend of mine who never would have given that time of day be like really into it. Makes me very happy. Marmalade Boy, yeah, I did enjoy that show. Yeah, this is like I don't know. I've never been one to harp on guilty pleasures because I think pleasures are pleasures. I think instead of focusing on like, hey, if you really want to like Kesha's first album, if you really want to like the dollar sign Kesha like stuff, go right ahead. I don't got a problem with you liking that. Um, I think it's important to acknowledge things that are problematic, that have issues, and be aware of them and understand them. Uh, that's the thing I think is more important than harping on if this thing is good or not. Um, Focusing on that stuff, I think it's more interesting to focus on if something is just like fun and enjoyable and something that you like really like. I'm way more into that than I'm into thought policing people about the media they're interested in. I don't know, but that can be some people that's what they're super into. All right, so we're working here. We're diligently working on. I think these are the feet. Yeah, these are the claw-like feet. That's the thing you're gonna find on blood orphans. The feet are like weird and very cool looking. So we're gonna work on that a little bit more. I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna do some, some self promotion. That's part of the reason I'm here is to so that I can keep being here. Number one thing is this Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's 2 hours before my normal stream. I'm going to start at 7 p.m. Play games. I'm going to play House Flippers, and we can talk about that. And I'll actually purchase a house and flip it. We'll go through that, the whole process, and show off that game because I think it's really fun. And I've played it more since I did a video on it. Uh, uh, no, the Hollow, you were not being antagonistic. I totally understand what you're saying. I wasn't. I was not seeing you approach that way. So I'll keep going with my spiel, but I didn't want to wait on that to say. I was not thinking you were being antagonistic. So, like I said, this Saturday, 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, playing games, some Jackbox games, showing off house flippers, having a good time with the chat. Then at 9 o'clock, building. 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., building model kits, doing this thing. We will continue to work on this. If we finish this, we're going to work on Kid Boo, which was bought off my Amazon wish list by Harold. Thank you, Harold, for that. That's the next kit we're going to build because it came off the wish list. So Kid Boo is the next thing we're going to do. We'll do that. I'm excited. I enjoy those Dragon Ball model kits. They're very fun. And it's fun to work on something that's, obviously humanoid. Not a human, but a humanoid. Subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link that with your Twitch. You get Twitch Prime. You get a free token you use for everybody. It's like money, but it's not money. And I get the same cut if you used $5 or if you use the token. There have been some changes here. Back end stuff with affiliates, of which I am. It basically just means right now I'm getting paid faster, which is awesome. And then also it means that eventually there'll be some banner stuff that we'll be able to do for folks that have subscribed multiple months or a year or whatever. Because we're coming up on the year. July will be a year of me streaming, and then later, a couple months later, is when I became an affiliate. It happened pretty fast, which is awesome. So that's one way. If you don't want to be tied into Twitch, you don't want to do that, that's fine. I totally understand that. But I have a Patreon that you might be interested in supporting. The Patreon is as little as $1, or the highest level tier is $10. For $1, you get a monthly Q&A that I do. I take questions. People send them to email me, or they ask them in the comments. And everybody that pays $1 or more a month gets those Q&A. No one gets those. Usually answer like 2 or 3 questions. I'm going to shoot one of those tomorrow, I believe. Maybe Saturday if I don't get enough questions by tomorrow. So that's fun. And then that's $5 you get videos early. $10 you get to vote on kits when it's time to do a kit that I didn't get from my wish list. I put the poll up and people vote. Speaking of wish list, here is my Amazon wish list. I constantly update it. You'll see a few things right now don't have Prime delivery. I'm going to trade those out. I do that constantly. I'll have some time to do that later tonight. That's the Amazon wish list. Everything from this chair, which is awesome, to the kit we're building right now came off the wish list. It's one of the best ways to support me as I do these streams, because it means that right now I have 2 model kits and 2 Lego sets I haven't built yet. 3 of those things came out of my own pocket. By pocket, I mean money from Twitch and money from my coffee account, which I'll put a link to now. And then one of those kits was bought off my Amazon wish list. And that means that I can keep doing videos for y'all and keep streaming, because by generous donations from folks, buying kits, just giving one-time donation, supporting me month to month in either Patreon or or through Twitch, allows me to continue to stream. And because it's not just like I'm not just playing Hearthstone every day. I'm building model kits that cost money, and having the support of wonderful folks like y'all really does help take the edge off of that. Um, so I really appreciate it, and thank you everybody for supporting me in that way. I think that's it. Oh, I have a Discord. Let me put the link up to my Discord. Anyone can join. You don't have to be in my Patreon. You don't have to be a subscriber here on Twitch. I have a Patreon. I have a Discord for everybody. Here's a link to the Discord. Join it. Not a lot of activity in there, so people are promoting themselves. There's a spot to promote your own stuff. You do streams, you make videos. Corey Oliver, thank you for the follow. Yeah, if you can't subscribe, you can be like Corey and give me a follow, and then set your notifications. I stream Thursdays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'll say it right now. I'm going to keep doing 2 hours a stream. Originally, the idea was I was going to add an extra half an hour to my streams just for June as like a thank you to celebrate my birthday and birthday month and kind of like build up a little awareness. I'm going to keep doing it. So from now on, my streams are 2 hours, except for this Saturday when I'm doing 4 hours. Let me take a drink of water here. Hold on. Talked a lot there. Obviously, been talking for an hour as I build. All right. But yeah, those are some of the many ways. If you can't financially support me, watching is awesome. It's so great when you all watch. Trying to get those viewer numbers up, trying to get those subscriber numbers up if I can, but viewer numbers are great too. Tell a friend, tell somebody you know that you think they would like a build stream like this where we talk about anime, we talk about current events, we talk about video games, and it's polite and nice. The chat is awesome and such a cool, supportive crew that it might be they might like that. I don't know. I'd love to build this up some more and have more eyes on the product. I think that would be awesome if I could get more people to come check it out. But anyway, tonight, y'all been great. This is a good Thursday crew, good conversations. We've got another hour. And since we're in hour 2, that's when I lean on y'all a little bit more. That's when I'm like, okay, what do we talk about? What's going on? What's up? Because I occasionally run out of things to say in the second hour. Board, you're taking off. Thanks for the stream. See you on Saturday. Thank you, Board. Thanks for popping in. As always, one of my regulars. I don't say it enough. Obviously, I'm thrilled when newcomers come in. I'm always thrilled when people pop in that like were looking at tags or saw me that I was tweeting about it and had never seen it. I love that. But I also love my regulars. I love all y'all that come here consistently. It is nice to see you when you do. It does make me smile when I recognize some of the names, and it means that people are popping back in. I genuinely am touched when I see that. So thank you for that. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to see you when you're coming in. Anyone got any good deals in summer sale? I got a couple things on Itch that were Steam keys, so they were on sale. I don't want to say what they are because they are going to be. I have my Let Pat Play series, which I need to record post haste because it'll be for Monday. But I bought a couple games that I'm probably gonna try out on that. So I'm excited for that. Of course, the last, the big purchase, the no-brainer purchase was, I don't know if it's still on sale, but Yakuza 0 was a Steam version, which is coming out later, I think, August. It's coming out. It's not out yet, but the pre-order was up, and it was like $20, and so it was like, yep, that's a no-brainer. I had so much fun with that game on the PlayStation. Never finished it. Can't wait to do it. But one of the things I think I'm going to do is, so it'll be a Yakuza game on Steam. So I'm going to keep an eye on the mod scene, see if anyone's going to try to do any mods in it. So I might do Let Pat Play, my Let's Play series, on like a modded version. or if mods don't show up, if people aren't trying to modify and play with it, then I might do a cheat engine playthrough of Yakuza 0. I think that could be a really fun show to show that off like that. Um, but yeah, I do want to show off. I want to build a bunker thing. There's the bunker DLC in House Slipper that is kind of fun. I did a couple bunker missions. That's a fun, silly addition to that game. So I would like to check that out more. Um, yeah, these weird blades come out of the feet. It's very odd feet. I do like them though. That's why there's a little bit of color in the legs there because it's the feet. All right, so we need some D pieces and some C pieces, and we'll get those together. Some C and D. Go. The Fist of the North Star game, that's done by the Yakuza team. That sounds pretty cool. I would assume it's PS4 only. Yeah, that would definitely that sounds about right. But I did not know that was coming, and that does sound interesting. All right, so we need D11. But yeah, that does sound like a pretty cool thing. I really digging. I know I've been talking about it a bunch, but I am really digging House Slipper. I'm excited to show it off on Saturday. It's just like a very fun game. It's a point and click game, like all good point and clicks. Um, but I do think that it's got some really fun elements to it. I think it's a interesting game that I'm like pleased to show off. It's like soothing in a way. There's something about like going into like uh word on the street is new Gundam Breaker may not be good with low frame rate and a dating simulator. Can't even pre-download it. Yeah, Mr. Bob, I have heard nothing but bad things about Gundam Breaker. I have heard stay away and don't is the only things that I've heard from people who I trust when it comes to game stuff. Yeah, that sounds like it is not going to be a good product, or it might take a while to get there. Um, yeah, there's something very soothing about going into like a house in House Slipper that's like got a bunch of trash and needs painting, and the windows need to get cleaned, like, and just doing all these simple, easy point and click tasks. And then when you get better at it, you can get faster at it, and suddenly you're cleaning way faster and just getting it all done. It's just like something very soothing about it. And then the music is just like classical, whatever. I turn it down and just put on podcast or um, right now I think I'm an hour like 5 or 6 of the drive to E3 that Jeff and Alex did because I was not available to listen to any of that live. So, I'll show this off. So, if this was a master grade, this little piece here, this unit piece here, would be several pieces, right? But because it's the full mechanics, they were like, oh, we're not going to worry about that. It will just do it as one piece. And it's not like cutting any corners or anything. It's just the style of this kit. And that's kind of interesting. All right, so it goes like that, and then this goes like this. Yeah, yeah. There's something pretty unique about this kind of kit that I really do enjoy. Uh, hmm. There we go. Got it. Figured it out. And then this goes in the back. I remember this piece. This piece here, you might see a lot of this piece because on the last full mechanics we did, this piece popped off quite a bit from the back of the leg, and I had to put it back on several times. Hopefully that will not be the case this time, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Also, just likes to pop off, and is a thing that I'm constantly doing. Uh, in the future is putting that back on. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to stay too well, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yep, just doesn't doesn't want to stay. Kind of, I don't like force. I don't like forcing pieces on. You can always trim it. That'll help some. But all right, working on our leg. Keep working on our leg. I'm going to throw the Bear Cave emote in there. If you're a subscriber, throw that Bear Cave emote. Haven't seen one of those in a bit. Always nice to see that. Um, Thanks for folks that are hanging out with me tonight. I was unaware of Just Drive to E3 audio, and now I have stuff for the RPG grinding. Yeah, for better or worse, it is on GB Unarchived, which is a few folks, or at least one person, if not several people, that kind of archive stuff like periscopes and things, and occasionally streams that they often archive like the test parts of Giant Bomb uh, East. Like they often go live and then don't keep that as the recording, as they're like testing audio levels and all that. And then they like don't set that. So if you're watching it live, you get that. If you're watching it later, you don't get it. So that is yeah, they have the archive of the whole uh, Mixler stream, including the chat, so you can watch the live version of the chat. And I'm sure that the Mixler archive, I don't know, I I don't know how much he keeps on an archive, so that might still be in the actual traditional spot. But I'm watching the YouTube video or listening mostly. I mostly have it on while I do other things. Harold, thank you for throwing the Bear Cave emote in there. Appreciate it. All right, and then so this goes like this, and then C1 goes 3. All right. Got on one leg, and then we'll do exactly the same thing we did right now with a totally other leg. And that goes. Is that? All right. Okay. I know that some folks said, telling me that the now that it's wrapped up, it might be worth going back to. Yes, yeah. I don't think Mixler does archives like that. What was I gonna say? Oh, I know that there are a few folks reached out and said that Darling in the Fracks ended well, and that I might be interested in going back and watching that now that it's done. I'm still not sure if that's gonna happen. Uh, I do like that. You know, I like that it ended well. I'm happy to hear that it ended well for folks, but I just it never clicked with me. So I don't know if it would be worth my time to like go back if I didn't really enjoy it while I was watching it. But I did hear that it ends pretty cool. Oh, does it have more episodes? I thought it wrapped up. I apologize. So it must have been that it's getting good and people were like you should get on board with that. Um, but I thought it was over. Uh, but if there's more to it, then I apologize. I might have just misunderstood people saying that it was wrapping up and I should get in it now. Uh, which like I said, wasn't quite sure if I was gonna get into that because I started watching it and just kind of wasn't super into it. Oh, okay. It wasn't listed on Crunchyroll's shows that are continuing in the summer, so that's why I thought it was done. Um, um, because yeah, with 21 episodes, so that's totally possible. That's like a 24 episode show, and it's just wrapping up, so they didn't include it because like, well, not by July. It won't be done by July, but I don't know. But yeah, the episode 21 just happened, so at least it's towards the end of the show. Uh, oh, you're watching it on Funimation. They're a few episodes behind to the dub. Oh yeah, yeah. The Crunchyroll is on 21. Okay. You know, it might have just been that people I know were saying you should check it out because it's almost over. And you know, if they're on episode 21, it is almost over. So, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna give that show a chance because I didn't love it when it was on. When I tried it. Right. Let's try to put this piece on. Great, got that on. Yeah, so we're just working on our legs here, working on our skeleton. One of the benefits of this model is that we're doing layers and layers, and even though it's not done, it feels like you're very accomplished from completing just some of these tasks. Because you can look at it and be like, oh wow, I got a lot done. And you're like, oh, I still got to put all the armor on over it. But it does look like we've done quite a bit in this stream, which is cool. Probably watch it when it's done. Yeah, yeah. I always feel that way. I do like having some stuff ahead of time. I am watching, My Hero, and I'm watching Food Wars as consistently as I can because they are getting good, and things are happening. Um, Food Wars, yeah, like this new part of the season has been good. I guess I'm a broken record on that. I think the last part wasn't particularly great, but I do really enjoy the team battle stuff that is starting to happen, and seeing some characters you've seen for a while and start to get a sense of who they're about, and what they're capable of. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Um, yeah, my hero. I let a lot of episodes kind of build up because I first came to that show by binging it the first season, so it was I kind of wanted to do that with this season, and I've very much enjoyed watching it like that. Uh, all right, now we can put the waist on, and then we can connect the waist and legs here. Um, yeah, I mean that was a real problem with My Hero is like they do good cliffhangers. They do real good end of episode stuff. So I always wanted to know what was coming, and so it was the idea of I let a bunch of episodes build up, and now I'm like I should do the right thing of just not watching for a while and let it build up even more, but I haven't done that. All right, so this is the skeletal version. This is what you would get if you built the whole skeleton here and never put armor on it. Um, which I really like that they do that. I think that's very cool. I'm actually going to take a photo of it before we start building the armor on it. Probably just heard my phone disconnecting. Apologize for that. I have my phone charging via USB. But I'm going to take a quick snapshot of this on my phone. You get to watch me do that. This is what I do after every episode here. The show after every stream, I take a photo and then post that photo so people will know what's going on. And I have a nice record on my Twitter account, and now also on my Discord of our builds and where we're ending up with them, which is pretty cool. Uh, Death. There's something great about that. There's something great about having a show that you only watch with someone. Uh, so you get to experience it with them. Um, all right. So let's see. Okay, so now that we built all the skeleton, now we're gonna take it. We're gonna start taking pieces off and then adding other pieces, which I think is a very. I forgot that that's part of this. So this is the Elmer skeleton, but there's like these like little blades we can put on. So they want you to take it off, put on this piece of armor, and then put it back on. It's like Under Armour in a way, but there's probably a few of that. I think the last one had like part of the head that was only for the skeleton part, which I think was kind of cool. It's a cool idea. All right, so then we take these go like, obviously you wouldn't do this if you were building it in a different kit. You would just like, oh, now it's time to put this piece on. You wouldn't assemble the arms, attach the arms, and then just to take it back apart. There you go. Yeah, it's a little bit there. That was also on the other kit, and now we're adding more body armor here. C goes over there. So A and B, A9, A3, and A4. One of the things surprising about the kit is while we're building the skeleton, we don't really build. We build a little bit of the outside of the cockpit, but there's no like room for a little a little tiny figure in the cockpit, which is kind of interesting. They don't do that part. They do other parts, but they don't do that part. 3 and then A9. Thought that was interesting that they don't worry about a little man in the cockpit. Um, the one thing I'm wondering about Food Wars is there's a 3-on-3 competitive thing right now, and one of the people they're fighting, we don't know who it is, and it's like appears to be a girl in a baseball cap, like hiding her identity. And some people might know who it is, but right now I don't know. And my guess is it's the bad food lady. There's a character in the show that is obsessed with making like stinky but like delicious cuisine. Basically it's like a horror character. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if that's the big reveal, is they turned her into making high quality food. But it's probably not. It probably isn't a character I haven't think of, from like the first season that I forgot about. It's probably not that girl. And so here's the thing. You know how I put this sticker on this skeleton? We're going to cover it up with armor. I do like Food Wars, and I think that binging is the way to go with Food Wars because it's it is exciting and fun. I think watching that show week to week was detrimental. Like the third plate, the beginning of the third season, the first half of the third season, I was just not super engaged, so that was bad. So yeah, so we put the sticker on here that we're never going to see now because we just put armor over it. That's annoying. Get out of here. Rude. And then this goes up in it. That. Yep, we're building the armor around. So Yeah, why did I even put this decal on if it's just gonna take it off? It's annoying. And this goes. I remember this part of the head being annoying. Now that we're putting the armor on the head, that there's a couple pieces here that are pretty annoying. Goes. All right. Sorry, this was a little delicate here. Got it. Yeah, just a weird piece that has to go on there. All right. Now we'll put on some helmet armor. I like watching week to week because it gives me time to watch each other breathe. Yeah. And I think that talking through some of that stuff can be fun. It is fun to like talk and speculate and think about what's going on with the show. I also a show that I really like. Sometimes I'll watch an episode again before the next one comes out as a refresher. But then you see things you didn't see the first time, and that's I think very fun. There was some phone texting in the end of today's episode of Comic Girls that I missed some of it. So I watch it again later. I'll slow down to try to, because there was like people texting and then also people reacting, and that sometimes is hard to pick up all of. So I'll be able to check that out in my rewatch. Hmm. When you actually take the head off, they have you leave the head on while you're building the outer skeleton, but I think it's easier to build this piece to put this together while it's not attached. Hmm. Sorry here. Um, there we go. Got that on. This has to go on here. Work it on our head here. Yeah, so we'll just build the head off the body frame and then put it back on. They want me to do it with it on, but I think it's better to do it like this. Anime about fanboys and fangirls seems to be your thing. Well, you might like Love is Hard for Otaku, which is, like anime and other nerd type of nerds being into things and then also dating. It is a romantic comedy show, as I mentioned, but that's like a lot of it is about them being the way they are and into the things they like. Um, so that man, you might enjoy that show. I really dig it. I have to remind myself that, you know, there are shows on Amazon that are still coming out, and I should check those out now and again. I got to see what got announced for what they're going to announce for next season. Yeah, because I feel like Love is Hard for Otaku like completely slipped on my radar. I didn't hear about it until like they were like 6 episodes in, maybe five, maybe even seven. Um, just hadn't heard about it, and then saw a clip on one of those like YouTube accounts that's just clips. Like that's all they do is clips. Eventually, I saw that on one of those. All right. All right. That goes like that, and then we need B120. We're getting there. We're getting a lot of head stuff done here. I'm always happy when the head is built because That is occasionally some of the smallest pieces in a kit. Pretty often, that's the smallest pieces. So I made my decision after a lot of thought. When this stream is over in 20-ish minutes, I'm gonna go get a slice of pizza. Did I earn that slice of pizza? Probably not. Am I gonna enjoy it? Of course I am. It's pizza. Also, my neighborhood pizza place is one of my favorite pizza places. It's a total cheat because they are fantastic and incredible, uh, and make just so many good slices. They've got a couple brick oven slices. They're really good. Their brick oven pepperoni slice square is so good. Uh, so yeah, I think when this stream is done, it'll be pizza time, and I'm looking forward to pizza time. So once again, we have to take the hand off. We're going to do our right arm here and put some armor on, but we also take the hand off to put some of the armor on, which is just silly, but part of this kit, part of the experience of doing the full mechanics. I might have to do for Saturday. Like I think we'll definitely finish them on Saturday, but I don't think we'll do all of Kid Buu on finish that on Saturday. But we'll get pretty far with Kid Buu as well. Obviously, we have lots of stuff left to build on this, but it's been moving pretty quick. 11, and I'll need B7 as well. Oh, this blue is so striking. It's a great blue color with how dark this kit is. And then we're going to, put some black pieces on it as well. You can see some of the black there. I think the blue is just so striking comparatively. I love it. All right, we'll need more of that there. We'll need some F as well. So let's put on these pieces here. I could take the arm off. I'm going to try to keep doing it with the arm on. That should be fine. But if it gets to be annoying, then I can always switch it up. So this goes on here. Oh, Harold, good night. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you again for the Kid Buu. Can't wait to start that on Saturday. Okay. Yeah, Kid Buu is the next kit we're gonna build. That's the tiniest of the Boos, the Majin Buu, most scary form for Majin Buu, because there's no joy in him, no playfulness. It's just a monster. That'll be fun to build. Like I said, it's fun to work on humanoid model kits now and again. And then after that, hopefully we'll do a Lego set, because it's been quite some time since we did Lego. We're long overdue for a Lego build. And I've got two of them. And so get into that, and I'll have a vote happen on Patreon for my $10 backers. They'll be able to vote on which one I do first. But yeah, but I definitely want to do a Lego set at some point. All right. And then we put some more accent pieces on. But yeah, so Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be here playing some games with chat. If you can come that early, it'd be great. It'll be laid back for the first 2 hours, and then I'll do my normal build stream at 9 p.m. Eastern till 11 p.m. We'll keep working on this. If we finish that, we'll start on Kid Buu. It'll be a good time. People will have fun. Always look forward to doing some party pack stuff. The hope is we'll have enough people for Quiplash and have enough people for TKO. Those are the usual ones we do. I do have Drawful. I've never played it on the with people or in live. So and with the delay, like right now I'm on the version here where there's very little lag on Twitch. I think the games move pretty well because you don't have to compensate for it. It's pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. All right, and then gotta put B115 on the hand that came off. Great. I get a fold open. That's weird. All right, so we fold open here. We can pull that back. Yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about here, the last 15 to 18 minutes of our stream, we might end a couple minutes early, but not that early. We'll try to do the full 2 hours if we can. Always sometimes gotta pull back, but trying to do the full thing for you. Yeah, if there's anything you want to chat about, now's a great time to do that. Always running. I definitely don't want to say running out of steam, but it's always a little lower towards this time. I have to see about some sales. I've been trying to get out all the New York City, Manhattan Toys R Us's are done. So I was trying to get out. There's still a couple in Queens that are open, and I tried to get out to one today, but they got away from me. I got a bunch of stuff I needed done, but didn't have time because it's a bit of a trek. So it was one of those things where it was like, well, is this going to be my day? I don't think this is going to be my day. So what if I didn't do this? So I did not go all the way out to what was I saying? Oh yeah, I did not go all the way out to deep Queens in order to go to what I think might be one of the last Toys R Us's in New York. But I did want to. I just didn't, unfortunately, have the opportunity to do so. Won't have time on maybe if I wake up early enough on Saturday, maybe I'll have time to do it. Maybe I could do that on Saturday, and then I would be able to talk about my trip on the stream. That's a good idea. All right, yeah, I'll try on Saturday. Wake up early, try to head out there. Try to go to that date. Try to go out there. Yeah, make a day trip of it. See what's up. I was going to talk about existential dread and such. Well, it's okay to think about that stuff now and again when you got to, but I do try to be optimistic when I can. I do consider myself to be a realist, not a pessimist, because I do like having faith and I do like having beliefs in people that they can change and become more than who they are or who they think they're programmed to be. So I do believe in that. But I'm also enough of a realist to know that, there's a lot of garbage out there. A lot of bad, not cool people, which sucks. So sometimes you don't find the good. And being a realist is just knowing that, like, yeah, that's going to happen. Can't be a total optimist your whole life and expect it to just work out. 13, 14. The Afterlife, fact or fiction? Find out after the break. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be as detailed as we go to. Well, so here we go. The Hollow. Joked about it, but we'll get into it. Um, I have never encountered in my life and in my travels a ghost, as far as I know. But I continue to believe that they exist, and the possibility that I someday may encounter a ghost is, I do believe that. It is often a silly thing. I'm not scared of ghosts. I'm not afraid of them. I don't fear the dealing with it. I've never been haunted, but I do believe I am one of several people, employees, that believe that the old UCB theater on 26th Street in Chelsea is a haunted building. Um, Occasionally, late, early in the morning when no one else was there, when it was just you, sounded like the piano was playing itself. That is a thing. That is a thing that I certainly experienced, and I am not alone in experiencing that. There were sounds that never quite sounded, never quite felt right in that space. Um, and I don't know why exactly, but that's the closest thing I think to I've ever been to a haunted place. But I do believe in ghosts, the possibility of ghosts at the very least. Because I also think it's more fun. It's just more fun uh, than not believing in them. Like just to be like, or I'll say this. Um, when asked if he believed in uh, what's it? Oh, when asked if he believed in extraterrestrial life, if aliens existed, Dennis Kucinich, who was running for president at the time, responded, "I don't believe that I can sit here and say that I know enough and that they don't exist." And I thought that was like a fun way of being like, yeah, it's 2006 or whatever. I can't say that ghosts are real, but or aliens are real, but I don't know, probably they probably are. Like I just love that. But we don't know enough for me to say that they are real. And I think that's been a fun. I like to think of that now and again. Like, yeah, I don't have enough evidence to tell you that ghosts are real or aren't real, or aliens are real or aren't real. But I do know that sometimes shit happens that I don't have a good explanation for, and it feels like okay. Yes, our brains do. Oh, our brains lie to us. You're not wrong. Our brains send us wrong information, or they send us incomplete pieces of information constantly, to which we have to spend time trying to justify. And sometimes that justification comes out as some sort of paranormal element. I do believe that our brains are quite often lying to us and creating false imagery to explain the unexplained. I don't think I'm not the first person to come up with that. I'm not the last person to come up with that. I just think it's certainly fair to say that uh, is a thing. But I also am, like I said, the same way. Um, that I'm not here to be like that shit's not real. Y'all, come on. Like I'm not here for that. Yeah, and also shared experiences like you had, Herb. Uh, doesn't necessarily. Sometimes it is mass. It's like a mass thing. Like mass hysteria. Like is a thing. Like is a documented thing. Not saying that's exactly what you're currently going through. That you and your aunt shared this moment where you experienced the same thing. But it is an eerie thing. Um, and I guess that's just all I'll say on that topic is that I'm just not ready to completely dismiss the possibilities. Because I think it is foolish to be like, I know exactly what's going on at all times. I can tell you exactly why this happened the way it did. It's like, maybe not. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe I don't know everything. Yeah, and broken record. I do think it's more fun. All right, Herbs is now sharing with us. It was a pet bird that flew away, but one day in my parents' room, the damn bird flew at my face. I saw it and felt the air for its wings, then gone. Later, she tells me the same thing happened to her. That is a weird thing. That is a weird shared moment that someone has an answer for, probably. Somebody out there is like, I know exactly what happened. But do they know? Or do they just have a, quote unquote, reasonable idea of what happened? It's like, you know, it may be placating ourselves and telling ourselves that this bird was moving on and for one last moment, you know, said hello to you and your aunt before moving on to some other plane of existence. And like, we might be kidding ourselves when we think things like that. But I don't know. Could be. Also share a lot of similar biology and brain structure. Yes. Yeah. No. That's true. That's definitely true. Um, you're not wrong about that. Mass hysteria, group hallucinations. Those are all commonplace things. I'm not here to say that they aren't. All right, so that goes on here. We're going to do a little bit more with this kit, not much more before I end for the night. I'll do a little bit of this armor here. Just a couple more pieces, then we'll call it quits. We'll put the weird front rockets on because I really want to just look at this front rocket because it doesn't make any sense. The part of this kit that doesn't make any sense to me is the leg rockets that are on the front. They just never make any sense, and I love them because they're just so weird looking. So we'll definitely get one of those on so we can look at that. And then we'll keep going on another time. I mean, we'll be back on Saturday building, so we'll get to it there. All right. So put that there. A24 is over here. These legs are not as symmetrical as other kits, so that is kind of interesting. I'm gonna put this. Yeah, so we'll get to there and you'll see that later. But okay, so this goes on here. And we could take the leg off as we're doing this, but I'm not worried about it. If it gets to be a complicated mess, then we'll deal with it then. But right now, it's not too hard to see where these pieces are supposed to line up and then get them lined up where they're supposed to go. Yeah. And yeah, all right. And then we'll just put this rocket on here. Then B16. All right, so we're going to wrap things up. Thank you very much for hanging out. I'll be back on Saturday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be playing games with the chat. If you don't want to watch building stuff, but you feel like playing some Jackbox games or watching me flip a house, you can come tune in for that. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be, I'll take a break, a quick break in between. But then I'll be back at 9 p.m. to do the traditional Saturday night build stream, and we'll keep working on this kit. And if we finish it up, we'll work on Kid Boo. So I'm excited for that. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday night. I'm going to go get pizza once I start uploading this YouTube archive, which will be up later tonight for my friends and at Patreon, and then for everybody else, the archive's up tomorrow. Thank you very much. Have a great night.